Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll try to understand in depth the mitzvah of tzitzis, and this year for sure will be Le'ilui Nishmas Avinoam ben Shmuel v'Simcha alav hashalom, תהא נשמתו צרורה בצרור החיים. The mitzvah of tzitzis is in Parshat Shelach. Parshat Shelach in Sefer Bamidbar, we just read it a few weeks ago at the end of Parshat Shelach, and it's connected to the beginning of the Parsha. The beginning of the Parsha for sure was the Chet HaMeraglim, when Moshe Rabbeinu sent the Meraglim, the spies, to see how's Eretz Yisrael, and they came, and the report was negative of 10 out of the 12. And I want to show you at the end few connection between the beginning of the Parsha to the Parsha Tzitzit. The last psukim of the Parsha is Parsha Tzitzit, let's say them. פרק ט"ו, ויאמר השם אל משה, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת להם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם. So mitzvah tzitzis is a mitzvah that goes on the garments, on the clothing. Now let's see the details that mentioned in the pasuk. ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת. So we have the tzitzis, we have the corner of the tzitzis, and we have the chutim, the stripes, and one of them should be תכלת, which is light blue. והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו. The tzitzis will be for you to look at it, and by looking at it, you should remember the mitzvos. וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות השם, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם. So the re'iyah, the vision is from the eye, so you should look right at things, because there is a tendency to look at things not in the right way. The Torah mentioned over here the heart and the eyes. ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם. In this order. Because you see, and this is the major thing over here, you see whatever you want to see. Many people could see the same thing, but they will see different things because you see what your heart draw you, push you to see. So, because the heart could take you to wrong ways, we'll see why, but might be, therefore, the solution is look at the tzitzis. If you look at the tzitzis, your heart will not take you to look at it from a wrong angle, and you see it right. So this is the mitzvah. The mitzvah is the mitzvah of the re'iyah, the vision. U'item oto, and by looking at the tzitzis, you should remember all of the mitzvahs, all 613 mitzvahs. And this is the positive thing. You have to look at it in order to prevent yourself from לא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו. And that should give you also ability to remember. To remember what? למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. So we have to understand a few concepts over here. First, the concept of Kedusha. There is a whole parsha in the Torah, Kedoshim tiyu ki kedosh ani Hashem. When Hashem offered us the Torah, He sent Moshe Rabbeinu and told them, tell them, are you ready to be my nation? ואתם תהיו לי ממלכת כהנים וגוי קדוש. A holy nation. And about this, we said, Nasa v'nishma. And in Parshas Kedoshim, Hashem says, Kedoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Hashem. Hashem is the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because you offer us and we agree to be His nation, the same way He is Kadosh, you want us to be Kedoshim. The tzitzis, the bottom line of the tzitzis is, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. So, what is the meaning of being holy, to being kadosh? And how you could be kadosh? So actually we saying it many times a day, we should, 100 times a day. But we do not really pay attention to what we said. How you become kadosh? Before you do any mitzvah, you say bracha, right? What's the bracha? Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu. Kideshanu in what? B'mitzvah. So the kedusha come from the mitzvahs. So we still have to understand what kedusha is and how the mitzvah make you kadosh. So I'll start from this, then we'll go to the other concepts over here of re'iyah, wrong re'iyah, right re'iyah, and the tzitzis, and the tcheles and the tzitzis. Let's start from kedusha. Kadosh is actually, the definition of kadosh is separated for higher level. Let's say we have 7 days a week. All the days are regular days. We have one day which is kadosh, kedushas Shabbos. So it's day like other days, but you separate it. How do you separate it? By doing kiddush in the beginning, by doing havdalah at the end. So you separate it from the mundanes, the every day, and this is special day. Hashem called HaKadosh Baruch Hu. By the way, not in the Torah, not in the Tanakh. You'll never find this title to Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem has many names, but not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Chazal name of Hashem. But the source is a combination of two things that mention in the Nevuah. When we said Kedusha in Shul, right, in Kedusha and Chazarat HaShatz, so we said Nakdisha v'naritzcha, v'nakdishcha, nekadesh Hashimcha ba'olam, whatever you said, but then the entire congregation says Kadosh, 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 right? And then there is another line that everyone say together, Baruch Kevod, Baruch Shem Kevod Hashem Yimekomo, right? So Chazal took those two, Kadosh and Baruch, and put it a name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Kadosh is from Kadosh Kadosh, and Baruch Hu from Meshabchim ve'omrim, Baruch Kvod Hashem Yimekomo. What is the meaning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Kadosh? So when you compare the reality, what the reality that we aware of, the creation, but the creation is so complicated and so big, has a creator. So if you take the creation and the creator, the creator is holy, is separated from the creation, because he is the cause and he is the one who create and give ability to exist to the creation. That's why Hashem is Kadosh, is separated from the regular creation. He created it, he gave it ability to exist. According to this, we have to understand what actually Hashem offered us in Ma'amad Har Sinai when he said, "Ve'atem tiyu li mamlechet kohanim ve'goy kadosh." Goy is a nation. So there are nations in the world. Hashem offered us now, first time in the history, that you will take one nation from all the nations in the world, separate it from the rest of the world, of the nations, and make it holy nation. Holy meaning that you are not like everyone else. You higher. You separated and elevated higher. In what way? Be aware of this. It's very fundamental and very important to understand. In what way we are different from the other nations. And it happened when we accept the Torah. In the way we're running our life. What makes us kadosh is the mitzvos. The mitzvos. How the mitzvos make us kadosh? Here, I must use Lashon HaKodesh and try to translate it to English, even though there is always a huge diminution when you translate. what is mitzvos, what are mitzvos, and how mitzvos make you kadosh. The word mitzvot could be written this way. Mem, I want to write it in 5 letters. Mem, tzadi, double vav, 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 and taf. You could do it, of course, with 1 vav too, but then you could mix it with matzos of Pesach. So let's be clear, mitzvos, okay? So we have mem, tzadi, vav, vav, taf. If you take the first letter, the mem, and separate it a little bit from the rest of the word, you got another word in Hebrew, in Lashon HaKodesh, called tzevet. In the modern Hebrew, tzevet is a team. Tzavta, to be together, right? In order to do a mitzvah, there are 2 teams. That's why we have double vav. 2 teams. There is a common denominator between the 2 teams. Team number 1 is the body and the soul, the guf and the neshama. You could not do a mitzvah with the neshama when the neshama is separate from the body. You could not do a mitzvah with the body when the neshama is out of the body. So you need both. This is the team that could do the mitzvah. This is one team. The other team is the mitzvah, the commander, which is Hashem, and me, us. And here we have 3 parts. The mitzvah, which is the commander, Hashem. The mitzvah, me, the Jew who accepts the Torah. And the mitzvah. What is the mitzvah? The mitzvah is the will of the mitzvah, of the commander, that I accept on myself to do. And this way, I connected myself with the mitzvah. So be aware, we have 2 teams, the body and the soul. The body is physical, the soul is material. The body is physical, the neshama is spiritual. And this is the team that actually operate the mitzvah. But there is another team, the mitzvah, which is Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and me. And here's the thing, very important to understand. Mitzvah. What is the mitzvah and why? You know, we sometimes wish each other, tizke mitzvah. What's the big schos? What's the big schos of doing a mitzvah? There is a big thing over here. Hashem is the master of the universe. He's ribono shel olam. He is the master, the ribon. When he created us, when he created human being, now, I'm not talking about Jews now. When he created Adam Arishon, it says that Hashem says, I'm going to create a creature, but this creature will be different from other creatures. It will be in the image of God. Na'aseh Adam betzalmeinu kidmutenu. Meaning there will be some similarity between me, Hashem, the creator, and the creature that I want to create. In what way we are similar to Hashem? We are not similar to Hashem. Hashem, we have a body. Hashem doesn't have a body. Why? Why it's a necessity that Hashem will not have a body? Because a body is material. Material is limited by time and space. Any material is limited by time and space. You cannot be in the same time now, 2 minutes ago, and 5 minutes ahead in the same time. You're limited to be now. You could not be, any material could not be in 2 places in the same time, or in no place in a given time. Therefore, the time and space are the limits that limit every material. And because Hashem is almighty, and there is a necessity that the creator who created the limits will be above the limits, outside of the limits. Therefore, Hashem is not a body, is not material. So, Hashem created us, dust from earth, which is a material, and He put in us neshama. So in what way are we similar to Hashem? Hashem is not physical, and we have part that's physical. So the only thing that we're similar to Hashem, listen to this, it's very important, is in one thing. We're different from all the creatures that Hashem created in the entire universe, in one way. You probably all heard about the laws of nature. The laws of nature, actually, it's a computer program that dictate to any element in the universe how to behave. And everyone is every element in the universe obligated to the laws of nature, except one, human being. In what way? In many ways we are obligated to the laws of nature. But Hashem gave us certain area that we are not limited. And with this we are similar to Hashem. That's called free will. No one has free will, only human being. Only human being could face a situation and react to it this way or just the opposite. And it's up to his own will. No such a thing in any element that Hashem created in the nature. Everything obligated to the laws of nature. So in this we are similar to Hashem. Of course, we do not have free will in everything, but the things that we have, we are in this similar to Hashem. Because we are free willers, and Hashem created us free willers, in a way it's a problem. If I was Hashem, I don't know if I was taking such a risk, because if I could control everything, I will not want any one of the things that I create that will be out of my control. But if I give free will, it's free. I'm not getting involved. That is the area of the free will. Now, because we are free willers, we have the urge, the feeling, the need to do whatever we want. Let me give you an example to make it more clear. Probably you heard or saw, there is such a phenomenon, it's rare, but there is such a thing called a good kid. Good kid is a kid that was born good. This kid do whatever expected from him, her, or him. Behave, not a troublemaker. There is such a thing. So imagine you have such a kid, and this kid from day one do exactly what expected from him to do. One day, you wake up in the morning, you got a surprise, the kid do just against what he used to or what expected from him, and he will rebel. Where is this coming from? From the fact that this kid finds himself not really aware of it. Well, I'm not a puppet. I have my own personality. Why I always have to do what people want me to do? What about me? I want to express my me. So they feel that they want to do things their way. Usually it happened at the age of 3 or something for a few days, and then they will go back to be a good kids. It will repeat itself when they will be teenagers, by everyone. Who are you to tell me what to do? I want to do what I want to do. I have my own personality, my own way of thinking. Where it's coming from? From the fact that we are in the image of God. Each one of us has his own personality that need to be expressed. If not, you feel that you are a puppet. It's so much so that we have a need not to accept what other people says, even toward Hashem. I want to decide. Why I have to listen to anyone, including Hashem? And this is the big thing about, I'm sorry, Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shomayim. When I don't know if a drink will solve it, maybe. Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shomayim, the big thing about it, as a free willer, I see or understand what Hashem wants me to do, and it's not necessarily always what I want or feel to do. So if a real free willer, I will be aware that sometimes what Hashem told me to do, or asked me to do, or expect me to do, is not what I feel that I want to do. So here I have the free will. To make my will, his will, my will. If I will be forced to do it, I didn't do anything. If someone take a gun and tell someone else, listen, either you steal or kill someone or I'll kill you. If this person steal, he didn't steal. He didn't do it because he wanted to. Some force forced him to do it. When I a free willer and I could deny or not accept something that Hashem said, and yet I decided, you know what, I'm going to do what Hashem wants. Here, I make myself connected to the will of Hashem. Why I will do it? Why I will do it? Because I know Hashem is smarter than me. Hashem loves me. And Hashem knows what's good for me more than I know what's good for me. So if I do the mitzvah of Hashem because I trust Hashem and understand that Hashem is bigger than me, He loves me, and He gives me the right directions, even if I do not really understand it here, now, I will maybe understand it later, maybe not, but I'll do it because I trust Him. That's a mitzvah. And this way, when you do the command, the mitzvah of the mitzvah, you become connected to the mitzvah. And in this way, you become kadosh. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is above what we could understand. And when we decided that even if we understand this way, because we know that Hashem is the master of the universe, because we know He loves us and He didn't get any benefit from it, if I do His will or not, because He's almighty, we doing it, when we do the mitzvah, we connected ourselves with Hashem. And this is the meaning of being kadosh, being holy. In Ma'amad Har Sinai, Hashem revealed to us that He is the master of the universe. This is the deep meaning of kafa aleim har kegigit. The truth was so clear, was no way to make a mistake. And then we said, of course, everything that you will say, we will do, because this is the only way to do it right. And here we accept ourselves the mitzvahs. So we are a holy nation. How? Asher kideshanu. In what way? Be-mitzvotav. Because with the mitzvah, we become one team with Hashem. Our will is exactly the will of Hashem. This is Kabbalat Ol Malchut Shamayim. Okay. The thing is that sometimes you could be inspired very much for a few moments, for an hour, for a day, but afterward, you falling from this level. So here comes the mitzvah tzitzit. Hashem says to us like this. Oh, you know what? I have to explain another concept. This is the concept of clothing. Clothing. You know when Hashem created Adam, He created Adam and Chava without clothing. From what point we need a clothing? From the sin, the Chet Adam Harishon, right? In brief, this is a whole big thing to explain by itself. Why we need a clothing? And here again, if you understand the Lashon HaKodesh, it's amazing. How do you say clothing in Hebrew? Beged, begadim, right? One of the begadim is me'il. Jacket is a me'il, or coat. When Hashem created Adam and Chava, they were holy. The body and the soul was a perfect team. Was no contradiction between the need of the neshama and the need of the body. When they eat from Etz Hadat Tov Hara, the body became something separate from the neshama with its own needs, and this is called in the Kabbalah Zohamat HaNachash, that the body is taking or think about itself separate from the neshama. In what way? More materialistic, need the things. Let me give you an example. Hashem created us with a body, we need to eat. We need to eat. What we should eat? What good for us? healthy, fresh, not, okay, whatever. That's the right way to run this area of eating. The thing is, Hashem made some of the food very yummy, very tasty, in order for us to eat, fulfill our needs, and feel good about it too. Problem is that many people eat not what healthy, but what tasty. And if it's healthy and tasty, great. What if it's tasty and not healthy? The Seichel says, don't touch it, it's not healthy. But because the taste is becomes so important because of the sin of Adam Rishon, and that's a long story to explain how, we take the tasty as a purpose by itself, even if it's not healthy, even if it's harming us. And this is Zohar Masa Nachash. It was not like this in the beginning. In the beginning, you do all physical things because it's a necessity in order to make the system exist. But after the sin, the body become, okay, what interested me is what gives me pleasure. It doesn't matter if it goes with a right thing to do or not. If it's pleasurable, we're going to go for it. Because of that, after the sin, there is a need for a clothing to cover the body, because within every human being body there is a neshama, but you cannot see the neshama. And after the sin, if you see a person, you see the body of the person. You ignore the neshama. In order for the neshama to feel good, you need to cover the body. That's the beged. The beged is, in the way, the beged in Hebrew connected to the word begida. Begida meaning it's trading, it's trade. It's betraying, livgod, beged, because it's covering in order to reveal the neshama, but it's covering the body. Anyways, we need clothing since Chet Adam Rishon. Says Hashem, עשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם. On the clothing made this tzitzis. And in the tzitzis there are the strings, the chutim. One of them should be tchelet. פתיל תכלת, וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות השם. You look at it, you will see the mitzvahs. Now we understand what the mitzvahs will make you holy. Meaning, without be aware of the ability to be holy, you will run your life not holy. So you have to remind yourself always that you're holy. How do you do this? By the tzitzis. Now the tzitzis, the original tzitzis, today we do not have Masorah anymore about the tchelet. Even though some people said that they know, most of the people who wear tzitzis has a white strings without a light blue string. We do not have it today because we do not have the Masorah, and there is no point to just guess or whatever. We have no Masorah. The same way we do not have Beis HaMikdash. We do not have Beis HaMikdash. So there is no point to go do sacrificing when you have no Beis HaMikdash. But many of the mitzvahs of the Torah, at least in Sefer Vayikra, are connected to Beis HaMikdash. So how do we fulfill them? Uneshalma parim sfatenu. By saying it, meaning, in the a human being has three areas of action: the thought, the speech, and the do, the action. Okay, it's called machshava, dibur, v'maaseh. When Hashem gave us the mitzvahs originally, He said, "Ela mitzvot asher ani metzaveh etchem la'asot otam." You should do them. But if you could not do them, not because you do not want to do them, because there is no ability. You could do Korban Pesach or any Korban only in the Mizbeach in Yerushalayim. We do not have Beis HaMikdash, we do not have the Mizbeach, we could not do. So when you could not do, it goes from the action to the speech, which is, Uneshalma parim sfatenu. I will pay off לשלם זה להשלים. I'll pay off by saying the word. Of course, if you could do the action, you are not yotzer with speech. But if you could not do it, the speech is the other way to, you say it, it's like you do it. Now there is another level. There is action, speech, and thought. When you could not do or say, you could be yotze with the machshava. Because the machshava is also, when I think about something, I think about any idea, before I thought, it was not there. When I thought, it's there, but it's only me know what I'm saying, what I'm thinking. Speech, I'm revealing what I'm thinking to other people when I share it by words. But when I do, when I speak, the people who hear me know what my thought is. When I do, even the people who are not, let's say I made a table, a desk, any furniture. I could leave it over here, and even the people will come today, tomorrow, next year, and another year, another 2 years, they will see the thought that was put into action. So there are levels of how to reveal. The machshava is the most hidden. The speech is just reveal it to the people who hear it. The action is the most obvious. I mean, even if time passed, but you see through the action the thought of the one who did it. We do not have the string of the tchelet. And therefore, we should do the mitzvah of tzitzit without it when you think about it. Here it says, ureitem oto. Ptil tchelet ureitem oto. You should see it in a vision. But you have to know that re'iyah, vision, has two levels. The physical, technical vision and the intellectual vision. Like when I say an idea and I say, do you see what I mean? What do I mean, do you see what I mean? You're not seeing it with your eyes. You see it with your intellectual eyes. So Ureitem oto has two levels. Re'iyah of seeing the actual thing or understand the concept. So today we do not have the string of the tchelet, and yet we are mechuyav to understand what re'item oto uschartem. And here I want to show you a few amazing things. The Gemara Maseches Menachos asks the question, היה רבי מאיר אומר, מפני מה נשתנתה תכלת מכל מיני צבעונים? Why tchelet? Tchelet is a light blue. Why tchelet? If you want to differentiate between white, you could differentiate between white and red, white and silver, white and every other color. Why dafka tchelet? Why dafka light blue? Says the Barais over there, מפני שהתכלת דומה לים. The light blue, or the string of the tchelet, is similar to the ocean, to the water, in the sea, in the ocean. וים דומה לרקיע. And the ocean similar to the color of the sky. ורקיע דומה לכיסא הכבוד. There is a concept called כיסא הכבוד. כיסא הכבוד, it's a mashal of a king who sits on a throne. The throne is the כיסא of the king. So כיסא הכבוד is כביכול, it's like to say that Hashem has a throne. It's called כיסא הכבוד, and he, Hashem, he is melech hakavod. Mi hu ze melech hakavod? Hashem tzot. He's sitting on this kisei hakavod. So kisei hakavod is light blue. So according to this, the Gemara, the Rabbi Meir teaching us, the reason that Hashem says that you will put a string with a light blue color, tchelet, because the tchelet is similar to the ocean similar to the sky is similar to kisei hakavod. So how? What? How this gonna remind you all the mitzvos and cause you to see in the right way? So there are very deep stuff over here. Tzitzis. We find in a different area in the Torah, same thing about tchelet, and something similar to tzitzis, where in the Big Day Kahuna, the Kohen Gadol has 8 clothing. One of them was the tzitz. What was the tzitz? It was a piece of gold on the forehead that was connected in ptil tchelet. Interesting. Ptil tchelet, and it's called tzitz. And very similar to tzitzit. Says the Zohar HaKadosh that tzitz is a zachar and the tzitzis is the nekeva. Tzitz v'tzitzit. Now, what was written on the piece of gold on the head, on the forehead of the Kohen Gadol? Kodesh LaHashem. So, Kodesh LaHashem, it's V'item Kedoshim LeElohechem of the tzitzis, and we find it on the head of the Kohen Gadol. And when the Kohen Gadol in Yom Kippur was standing in front of everyone, everyone was look at his tzitz that says on it Kodesh LaHashem, and it was connected with Ptil Tchelet. Still, we have to understand what's the connection between the tchelet that's similar to the ocean, that's similar to the sky, that's similar to Kisei HaKovod. So I want to show you, we do not have time to cover all the things, but let's see the main things. Let's go to the Ramban. So here's a quote from the Zohar, Tzitz Zachar, Tzitzit Nekeva. And let's go to there is a Maharan and there is a Ramban. Where is the Ramban? We are on the, just 1 second. Yeah. Uritem oto uzchartem. Says the Ramban on the pasuk, over there in Bamidbar Parashat Shlach, Hazikaron hu bechut hatchelet. The zikaron is the string of the tchelet, which is the light blue. שרומז למידה הכוללת הכל, שהיא בכל. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Be aware that within the word tchelet, there are 2 letters, kaf and lamed. Tchelet, right? Kaf and lamed. Kaf and lamed is kol. What's kol? Everything. Tchelet. The word tchelet connected to the word tachlit. Tachlit is the purpose, the meaning, the tachlis. Okay? Tchelet. Hashem created the world, the universe. The universe has 2 dimensions, the physical, which we all see, and the spiritual dimension that we never saw. Let me tell you something interesting. If I ask you, what is Shamayim? Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. What is Shamayim? So the translation is not that accurate. Shamayim is what? Sky, heaven. That's English. In Hebrew, what is the meaning of Shamayim? Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. What is Shamayim? So many people will say, this is the blue thing that you see when you wake up here in Las Vegas. In New York, in many days of the year, you could not see the Shamayim. It's covered with pollution, with clouds, whatever. Okay, you wake up in the morning, you see the clear sky. You see this blue color up there, right? There is such a thing, really? If you take an airplane, fly, you will reach the Shamayim? No. Take a space shuttle. Go to a nice journey between the stars. You will ever touch the Shamayim or see the Shamayim? There is no such a thing. It's just an illusion. It's illusion color of the space that in between the stars. But there is no such a thing. But it says that Hashem created Shamayim. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. So what is the meaning of the word Shamayim? Be ready for something boom. In Hebrew, the letter Yud Mem at the end of the word always turn it from singular to plural. Yad, hand. Yad, yadayim. אוזן אוזניים, רגל רגליים, ברך ברכיים, לחי לחיים, כתף כתפיים, etc. So Yud Mem is always take the basic, the singular, turn it to plural. The minimum of plural is 2, but it could be many more than 2. But the minimum is 2. So according to this, let's go back to the word Shamayim. There is a Yud and Mem? Yes. So it's a plural. Of what? Of the Shin Mem. Shin Mem are the major. This is the singular. The Yud Mem make it plural. What is Shin Mem? Shin Mem in Hebrew is there. Sham. What's the definition of Sham? There. What is there? Everything that's not here is there. It's there. There, it's not just there because it's far. Anything that you could understand, grasp, chap if you want a Brooklyn language. Okay? Anything that you could understand, could chap, could get, right? It's here. Here, it's not just physical distance, but anything that you could get in your mind, it's here. So Hashem informed us when He created the world, don't make any mistake. Whatever you see is not everything that exists. You see very partial of what reality is. Aside from the here, there is there. And the there is very, very big, huge. And you have no way to get to understand it. Because the minute you understand it, it's not there anymore, it's here. So there are a whole dimension that we are not be able, with our senses, and even with our seichel, mind, to understand, because it's not physical, it's not limited by time and space. It's above all of this, it's there. And why the Yud Mem? There it's enough, right? No, it's so far there, it's not just there, it's there in square. It's very, very there, about more, you have no way to know how big is it. And this is the spiritual dimension. It's easy to make the connection. Hashem created the body of a human being, a body, which is physical. You could see it. You could get it. It's limited by time and space. And neshama. Did you pay attention that the letter Shin Mem is in the middle of neshama? Nun, hey, in the middle, Shin Mem. So Shamayim and neshama is the same thing. It's something not physical, that's very there from your ability to understand it. But the fact that you do not understand it or you do not get it, it's not make it not exist. It make you aware of very partial of the real reality. Okay, so when we make decisions in life, rational decisions, what's the right way to make a rational, responsible decision about anything? Gather together all the details that are relevant, analyze them, and get to the conclusion. Everyone knows that if you miss a very important piece of information that's relevant, your decision will not be correct. So you should strive to just collect all the relevant elements. If you miss one, and it's crucial, you could make, for sure, not you could, you will make the wrong decision. So Hashem commands us like this. I gave you the Torah. The Torah is the truth, is the absolute truth. When you make a decision about what to do and what not to do in your life, you have to see the big picture. All the relevant elements that you should take in calculation in order to make the right decision. Problem is that you see the physicality. You see the things that limited by time and space. You could aware of them by your senses. So you do the calculation based on this, and you made a decision. You have to remember that it's not the whole reality. Hakol, the whole, is bigger than what you see. And it's written, Kichol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Kichol, kol, Bashamayim uva'aretz. It's not the aretz separate from the shamayim. You have to take the shamayim and the aretz together in order to make the right decision. How could you do this? You could not do it by yourself. You need instructions from who? From the one who created the shamayim and the aretz, who created the neshama and the body. And those are the mitzvahs. The mitzvahs is the team that connect the physical and the spiritual together. And I gave you the Torah. All what you have to do is just do it. The thing is, but because, again, we are body, we see our body, we are aware of our physical needs, we do not see our neshama, so it's easy to ignore the interest of the neshama, the needs of the neshama. And this is the sin. The sin is to take the whole big system, relate to part of it like it's the whole, and make a wrong decision. So in order to make a real decision, you have to take into account the entire thing, the shamayim and the aretz. Therefore, it's very important to be aware of the shamayim. And the string, the blue string in the tzitzis, is similar to the ocean. And the ocean is a reflection of the shamayim. And the shamayim is similar to Kisei HaKavod. And who sit on Kisei HaKavod? Hashem. Therefore, the tzitzit should show you or remind you to take, before you make any decision, not just the physical, tangible, sensible elements, but how it's connected to the source, the spiritual source of them. That's how the tzitzis will show you or remind you et kol mitzvotai. If we go back to the deep things of the Ramban here, he said it's in very few words. וראיתם אותו וזכרתם, הזיכרון הוא בחוט התכלת. The memory is in the blue string, שרומז למידה הכוללת הכל, שהיא בכל. And this midah, he speaks about sphera, but again, not with the Kabbalah words. Midah is the sphera, and there are 10 spheros. The last one is Malchus, Sfirat HaMalchut. So the Sfirat HaMalchut with the Sfira that's above it, with Sfirat HaYesod, the connection between the Yesod and the Malchus is the Kol. Ki Kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Aretz is the Sfirat HaMalchut, and Shamayim is the Kudsha Barichu Ushchinte. So this is the Midah HaKolelet et HaKol, vehi Tachlit HaKol. And this is the meaning, the purpose of everything. Perush shebemilat Tchelet, in the word Tchelet, yesh, there are the words, the letters Kaf Lamed, Kol, Tchelet, וגם תכלית. ולכן אמר, וזכרתם את כל, מפני שהתכלת דומה לים. The תכלת similar to the ocean or the water. וים דומה לרקיע, ורקיע דומה לכיסא הכבוד. And this way you connect Hashem with Hashem, the neshama, the spiritual dimension of the universe, with the physical, and do the things in the right way. And this is the meaning of Kedusha. Hashem, as I said, is Kadosh. He doesn't have any physicality. He made us with the physicality in order for us to make the physicality connected to the spirituality, and that will make you Kadosh, because it's only you who do this. The Goyim is not doing this because they never got the Torah. They never knew how to make this connection. That will make you Kodosh, and this is the meaning of mitzvahs tzitzis. Again, today we do not have the string of the tchelet. We cannot see it vividly, physically, with our physical eyes. But if we understand what we just learned here, we could look at it in the intellectual, spiritual eyes to understand that everything that you do this is the difference between a Jew and non-Jew. We need to eat, they need to eat. They eat whatever they eat. We eat also what we need in order to survive. But we are not eating everything. We eat if it's kosher. If it's not kosher, it's a partial thing. It's not the connection between the spiritual and the physical. So every mitzvah actually is to make a team between the physical and spiritual according to what we got in Ma'amad Har Sinai. So this is the meaning of the mitzvah, of tzitzis. Now the tzitzis is the beged that cover the person. When you, again, the covering needed after the body got way more than it's really need. And therefore you have to cover it. And the covering it with these tzitzis will remind you that you have to act according to this. Maharal add here something even deeper. Let's see if, here's the Maharal. The Maharal says about this Gemara in Menachos. התכלת דומה לים, הים דומה לרקיע, הרקיע דומה לכיסא הכבוד. Says the Maharal, I will not read it inside because it's really difficult to understand it. Even if you're an expert Hebrew speakers, it's hard to understand the language of the Maharal. It's explain the concept. He said the following, מפני שהמלבוש הוא כבוד האדם. The clothing give you kavod. The neshama feel very, very not good when a person look at the person and see the body, and ignore the neshama. The neshama is ashamed because the neshama is very important, but no one realize it because after the sin again the body got. So the beged, as I said, is covering the body in order to reveal the neshama. In order to reveal the neshama. So beged is kvod adam. Therefore, animals doesn't need clothing because they have no neshama. They are just physical. So the people who just ignore their neshama feel also that they do not need clothing like the animals. Because in the animals there is no contradiction between the body and the soul. In the Adam there is, so therefore you have to cover the physical in order to reveal the spiritual. Says the Maharal, when you take the beged, המלבוש על הגוף החומרי הוא ראוי שיהיה מורה על המצוות האלוקיות, והמצוות הם יוצאים מן האדם העושה אותם כמו הציצית שיוצאת. What he's saying over here? There are the clothing. The clothing are the clothing. We as Jews, if we have 4 arba kanfot, we need tzitzis. The tzitzis is extra strings that not needed for the garment itself, but you put it at the edge of the garment, and they coming out. They are obvious, coming out from the clothing. Says the Maharal, that the mitzvahs that you do, coming from you outside of you. החוטים היוצאים מן הטלית מורים על המצוות היוצאים מן האדם. Now to do a mitzvah, as I said before, it's not easy. You have to understand that there is a mitzvah. You have to accept that the mitzvah, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, as an authority. And when you find out that he wants from you something that you yourself will not necessarily will do or will do just the opposite, here's your choice. To ignore what Hashem wants and do whatever you want, or to fit your will to his will. Aser etzoncha kirtzono. And that's your choice. So when you do this, you show that you trust him completely. You know that he exists. You know that he gave the Torah. You know that exactly what he wants. And now you do it even if it's hard for you, if you think it's not necessary. You do it because you know this is the truth, because Hashem is almighty and he loves me and he wants me to take the most from my potential. So when you do it this way, you, with yourself, create something that if you will not do it, no one will do it. So it's coming from you. From you, after we'll take all these components and put them together. Again, you know exactly what you want. You know that Hashem exists. You know that Hashem gave us Torah. You know that this particular mitzvah is exactly what Hashem wants me to do. And you know that he commanded it for me, for my own good. And now I say, okay, if so, I'll do it. Even if it's hard. Even if I do not understand the logic. I will do it. Then it's coming from you. From you meaning will be a debate inside of you to do it, not to do it, and then you will decide to do it and come out from you outside. And this is the tzitzis that come out of the garment And it will come just because of this string of tchelet that remind you, listen, don't think that you have all the information. There is another thing, another realm that you have to connect with this. And you know what? Let's just finish with the location of this mitzvah in the Torah. Where is it located? In Parshas Shelach. What's the connection to the beginning of the Parsha? Many similarities. Let's go back to see the Parshas Tzitzit, and then I'll show you, if you remember those things. When Moshe Rabbeinu sent the Meraglim to see the country, right? How they called them? האנשים התרים את הארץ. האנשים אשר הלכו לתור את הארץ. Right? Latour is like tourist. Tourists go to see things. Interesting things, unusual things. לטור. ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם. They went. They saw what they saw. They were divided, right? The 10 says, we saw the country, it's beautiful, Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash, good fruit, but the people over there are giants, are strong. If we will go there and make a fight with them, it's committing a national suicide. That's what they saw. They didn't see right. They saw the physical. What they ignored? Hashem. So what if they're strong? That's what Caleb and Yeshua told them. So what if they're strong? Hashem is stronger than them. Hashem took us out of Egypt. Egypt was the superpower at the time. So he could not deal with those guys. So what happened? It was a dispute between the Meraglim. What is the right sight? They both saw everything. Even Yeshua and Caleb saw that the people of the country are strong. But they saw something that the other didn't see. They saw Hashem. They saw the tcheles. They saw the tachlis. So the beginning of the parsha speaks about re'iyah that was not the right re'iyah. A vision that was partial and caused them to rebel against Hashem. Parshas Tzitzit come to us for generations to remind us, Lo taturu acharei levavchem, because the heart could take you to wrong places because of the desires and whatever. Lo taturu acharei levavchem, but see it in the right way. How you'll see it in the right way? When you see the tachlis, when you see the big picture, the call, the everything, you see Hashem. When Hashem is there, everything is okay. So this is the connection between the two. There are more connections. Al kanfei bigdechem. Go to the parsha, you will see when Yoshua and Caleb saw how the report of the 10 spies accepted by the nation. ויהושע וכלב מן האתרים מן הארץ קרעו בגדיהם. They tore their clothing. So here's clothing, and then the Meraglim is clothing, right? The re'iyah. The re'iyah is to remember that Hashem is there. If Hashem is there, the entire picture is different. So the re'iyah, the story over here is how to look at things. You could see things. You could prove to yourself, I saw it in my own eyes. But you saw with your physical eyes. You ignore your spiritual eyes that should be in the picture in order to see the big picture in the right proportion. So those are some of the things that we could say about mitzvah tzitzis. And I must add, mitzvah tzitzis relate only to this part of the crowd. So we spoke about things that, 50% of the people, okay, we understand the idea, but we cannot do. So here I add just another thing that the whole thing by itself. You know that ladies are not obligated to do mitzvahs that connected to time. Mitzvot shehazman grama nashim pturot. And therefore they potter from tzitzis. Because tzitzis from the Torah is only obligated on the daytime. Because it says uritem oto. Uritem oto when you could see it with a natural light, not artificial light. Therefore, mitzvah tzitzis midoraita is only in the daytime. And because it's mitzvah she'azman grama, that's connected to time, therefore ladies are not obligated to it, like they're not obligated to all the mitzvahs that connected to time. Question is why? Why nashim p'turot mitzvot she'azman graman? This is a big story. I would say it in brief. With this, we'll conclude here. You know, in the morning, I was, for a good few decades, more than 4, dealing with kiruv. For many years, I was in Arachim until 5-6 years ago. And I was dealing with tough cookies, Israelis, and the far left Israelis, those who think that they are the smartest people ever, and for sure all the religion and the frum people are nothing. Okay, so I had years to argue with I heard all the questions that you could ever think and more, and we'll deal with them okay, I dealt with them. The thing is, one of the questions that they always ask, Yiddishkeit, Judaism, Torah is against ladies. You wake up in the morning, you say it proudly, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shelo osani isha. No, it's obvious discrimination against ladies. And what's the frum ladies says? She'osani kiritzono. And many ladies who said that think, you know what? You didn't make me a man. But if that's your want, fine. Okay, I'll accept it. That's so wrong. When a lady is saying in the morning, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam she'asani kirtzono, it's not apologetic. It's positive. Hashem created ladies more close to His will than men. Why? What is different between the men and ladies? The body. The way Hashem created the body of the man, that the man is a giver, the lady is a recipient, the men give, the lady get, cultivate, and deliver. Right? That's the way the nature works. So the nature of a lady is more to be a receiver. The nature of the man is to be a giver. And for a giver, it's much harder to be a receiver. Therefore, when Hashem gave us the Torah, He said, Ko tomar lebet Yaakov v'taged libnei Israel. First, the ladies, because they are the easy one, because they are accepting. The men are tough cookies. They want to give. It's hard for them to get. Therefore, the man needs more things to work on himself in order to become a receiver than the lady. So the lady is more close to Ritzon Hashem than, by the nature, more than the man. So it's a positive, Sha'asani keritzono. So why do I say Shelo asani isha? I have to say, Chaval, it's a shame that you didn't make me isha. Isha is more close to Ritzon Hashem. What is the bracha here? The bracha is, because I'm more far and I need more work, it gives me the opportunity to do more mitzvos. The things that the lady do in half of the thing that I need to do, I need to work harder. And the more I work harder, I get more reward for this, but I have to work. So there are positive things for here and here. Tzitzis is one of the mitzvahs that you have to remember. Men, even though men in Hebrew is zachar it's connected to lizkor, to remember, but they're hard to remember. Therefore, they need the tzitzis to remember. Ladies doesn't need to remember, because in their nature, they are more depend on time than men. Whatever you understand what I'm talking about. They have in their nature connected to a cycle of time. They do not need a remembering about every step. We need. Therefore, that's one of the reasons that men are obligated in mitzvot aseh she'azman gaman and nashim not. But even though it's a mitzvah, and the same way the men, we do not have tzitzis, tchelet. We do not have the tchelet. We have to think about it, to understand it in the concept, even though we could not see it in our physical eyes. By the ladies, they do not even do the mitzvah itself, but they should understand the concept, and that's what we tried to do tonight. Okay, so this is the shiur. Thank you for listening. I know it's not a typical shiur. It's a little bit heavy, but that's the style. And tomorrow night, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to have a shiur. Tomorrow, before the end of the fast, before Mincha, we'll have a very interesting topic, completely different, talking about the Nevuah, about anti-Semitism. It will be interesting, Be'ezrat Hashem, tomorrow.
Thank you very, very much, Rabbi.